Today I'd like to do a simple demonstration or an overview of laminates, and what we're going to work on today is this little part here, which is just a plate I've already gone ahead and meshed, and let's see if we can build a simple laminate. Now before you start, a real good idea is to come up with a sketch, and I've made one for our little part here. So it's going to have 3 layers. Layer 1 goes all the way across, 2 and 3 are half layers, and then a layer 4 on top. So we're going to work with this file and see if we can do something very similar to this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, I guess order doesn't really matter, but we need to build our materials. Instead of building them, I'm just going to import them as I showed in a previous video. So here I'm just importing a material database. And if I go back to my model now, I have a material here, carbon, that we're going to use. When you're doing laminates, you need to use a 2D material here. Mat 8, if we look it up here, is a material property for linear temperature independent orthotropic material for 2-dimensional elements. So that should work just fine. Then we're going to go ahead and create a property. And the key thing about this is we're going to use, instead of P shell, we're going to use pcomp P. And let's see what else is on here. We'll maybe come back to this in another video. Z0 is how far offset from the surface we're going to start building our laminates. If we leave it at 0, it builds it right on. If we leave it blank, what will happen is the surface is in the middle of our laminate. There's a failure theory. We're going to do that when we do an analysis as well. So now we have a property. What we're going to do now is determine where our plies are going. Now I found in more complicated parts, we'll do it here as well, what we want to do, a very good thing to do, is build up sets. So we pick our plies, and our plies are built of combinations of sets, and we can reuse sets. So I'm going to go ahead here and create a couple sets. I'm going to create set 1, which will be the bottom here, and I'll go and pick my elements, and I'll just choose them by window. Now in your part, you probably choose them by geometry on surfaces. So we're going to select those, and these guys. And there's set 1 is created. Maybe I'll rename it set A. Okay, and then I'm going to choose set B, which is not those. So let's go to F5. Hello. And we're going to mask elements. So let's mask the ones we've already chosen, which should be in a set. Set A, select mask. Oh, now the rest we can go ahead and put in a new set. So I'll create a set. I'll call it B. And we'll choose the elements, and we'll get choose displayed. That'll select the rest of them. Okay, so now I've got my 2 sets. Let's go unmask everything. F5, unmask all, return. So now I'm ready to build my plies. So this is a simple laminate. It's just going to have a few plies, and we're going to stack them all up. So let's go ahead and build our plies. If I refer back to the image, which I'll pull up on here. So ply number 1 is going to go all the way across. That'll use set A and B. Set 2 we'll say is A set, or ply 3 rather, is set B, and then 4 is set A and B. So let's see if we can do something like that. So let's go ahead and create a ply. And here's ply. Now, we can do this now, we can do it later. Let's just choose the material. So in this case, we only got one that we're going to use, but you may have several different types of laminate that you can choose from, different carbons, different structures of carbon, etc. And let's put in a thickness. If you forget any of this, you can do it later. So let's do that as 1. And I'll make it blue. And instead of choosing elements, I can choose elements and go over here and click one at a time. Or I can choose a set. And come in here, sets, and we're going to use layer 1 is A and B. Okay, and that's created. Okay, ply 2 will just be consistent with my picture. We'll make it red, and it's going to be sets A only. That's the bottom. So let's create that. Now we're on to set 3. According to our plan is green. And we're going to do that as set B. And then set 4, we're going to make, we're going to make purpley. And it's going to be sets A and B. Now I've done very complicated parts and had only about, I don't know, maybe 10 sets, and I could do amazing things on big complicated parts. So this works really well. And there's our sets. Our plies are all created. Okay. Now that we got our plies, we can't see anything yet because we don't have a laminate. Let's see what else we do. We've got our property pcomp p. Let's go up to our component, which is our plate, and let's go assign our property. And we're going to use this pcomp p. Like I say, you can do a lot of this at the beginning. If you forget it, you can come back. So now let's go build our laminate. And the laminate is where we put down our plies. We haven't really specified an order to them yet. Yeah, we're going to build them in the order that we made them, but we can put them down any way we want. So we're going to do a laminate. There's different types of laminates. Today we're just going to do a ply laminate. There's sublaminates and interface laminates. We're going to cover that in a separate video. Okay, so it's just a stack image. We can give it a color, whatever. And now we put in the name of our plies. I can click here, ply 1. I can also go over here and pick them by ID number. Now, I can't do anything over here with thickness and orientation or material. So I have to do that over here under the plies if I want to change that. So let's go put in 3 and let's put in 4. So there's our laminate. We're almost done. The only thing is, I think in this orientation, let's set up ply 1 at 0, these two at 45, and the last one at 90 degrees. So let's create that, close it, and there's our laminate. So let's go into ply 1. We said is at 0 degrees. Ply 2, let's put it 45. Ply 3,